Arlynn here. Welcome back to my Country Craft Corner. How in the world are you guys doing today? It is so good to see you again, and thank you so much for stopping back by to see what I'm up to. And what I'm up to today is my first installment in my Bow Making 101 series. This series is going to consist of about 6 videos, and then maybe more if you guys have any requests after I get done my first 6 videos. But the first 6 videos I'm going to do are going to be, I'm going to do one bow in each video. This video I'm going to do a 9-loop funky bow. Moving forward, I'm going to do a 12-loop funky bow, a 16-loop funky bow, a 20-loop funky bow. Then I'm going to do a tiered bow and then a round bow. And then after that, if you guys have any suggestions or requests, then maybe I can help you guys out after that. But I want to get the basics down in these first 6 videos. Y'all know? So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this 9-loop funky bow. As you saw at the very beginning there, I was cutting up some ribbon. I'm going to be using these 3 ribbons in this funky bow. Let me just say that I am not the creator of the name Funky Bow. I think it was Julie Samaka over there at Southern Charms Reads. I'm not positive that she's the one that gave it the name, but that's where I learned how to do the basic steps, how I learned to do kind of the concept of the funky bow. I've since kind of tweaked it and made my own rules and kind of, you know, made it easier for me to follow, and so that I can do it time after time after time. In that vein, I've made up a funky bow cheat sheet, and I will put a link in the description for a blog that I wrote for the Salvation Army, but it has a link for my funky bow cheat sheet in PDF that you guys can go there to my blog and download it and print it off with your own printer if you want to, just to give you the basics about funky bows. A 9-loop, a 12-loop, and a 16-loop. And I'm going to go through the steps of making a 9-loop funky bow. And that's all I'm going to do. Believe it or not, that's all I'm going to do in this video. Can y'all believe it? I might make a, have a record here for the shortest amount of time that Arlynn's ever made a video. I don't know, we'll see. If I keep yammering, I won't, though will I? All right. I'll be right back in just a second. Okie dokie, I'm back, and as you can see, I've laid out my 9 strips of ribbon in piles of 3. And I've also kind of put out my tape measure here, and this is so that I can measure the size of my loop. Each of these strips is 22 inches long. You can make your strips as long or as short as you want them to be. The main thing that we need to remember in a funky bow, and what makes them, in my opinion, what makes them so pretty, is that the bow loops are a consistent size. So I'm going to make my loops right about 5.5 inches long, and that'll give me about 6.5 inch tails, and for each loop that I do. And as I said, I'm going to have 9 loops. This is a 9-loop funky bow. So let's get started. It's easier for me just to show you as I do it. And if you guys want to go ahead and get yourself 3 different kinds of ribbon here and follow along with me, just pause. Push the pause button. Get yourself 3 different types of ribbon, 3 coordinating ribbons. Get them cut at 22 inches long. Get yourself a little tape measure, and I'll wait while you go and get that done, and you can work on a bow while I'm working on it. I'll do it go slow, and we'll do it together. So push your pause button right now and go and gather your stuff, and then we'll continue on in just a minute and then you just push it again and then unpause and we'll go. But all right, here we go. Pick up your first strip, fold it right in half. And then you're going to go to your measuring stick or whatever you have, your board or your, whatever you have to measure, and measure out 5 inches. I'm measuring about 5.5, but whatever you want to do, just do it the same every time you pick up a loop. Now we're going to, as I make this bow, we're going to think of my finger, my thumb, as the center of the bow. So when I go, point that loop up from center or point it down from center, you can see that I have the first loop pointed up from center, center being my thumb. Then I want to go to the back tail, because you can see this is one-sided ribbon, and this ribbon back here is a little bit lighter than this side of the ribbon is lighter, and I want both the right sides of the ribbon to both be facing in the same direction, at least when I make the bow. They get all flouncy and they get mixed in with each other throughout the process, but at least when I'm making the bow, I want those two right sides to be facing in the same direction. So I always go back to that back tail and twist it and bring that pattern forward. Okay, pick up your next one in line, fold it in half again, find yourself however big you want your loop, and you make that decision. I'm making the decision to make mine about 5.5 inches, but you make the decision to make your loop as big or as little as you want. Turn it the opposite direction for a 9-loop funky bow. We want to turn that loop down from center. Then we want to accordion it, kind of accordion it together. See what I'm doing? Just accordion it together and put it right beside your floral or your first ribbon. And again, even though this is 2-sided ribbon, I'm still going to go back to that back tail and I'm going to twist it, because texturally speaking, sometimes ribbon is different. Like this is kind of shiny on this side and kind of dull on the back. So I want the both shiny sides, to be facing the same direction. Okay, next, working my way through the pattern that I have laid out. Go to the measuring stick and I'm going to measure out 5.5. And again, we're going to point this one up from center, this loop up from center. Go to that back tail and twist. So there is our first time through the pattern of ribbon that I have laid out here. We're going to go through the pattern 2 more times. And we're going to be alternating that loop each time we add it to the mix. This time we're going to point that ribbon down from center, accordion it in there, go to that back tail and twist. Okay. Next time through the pattern, whoops, fold it right in half, find however big you want your loop, accordion it together. This is very stiff. This pink ribbon is very stiff. Again, go to that back tail and twist. And then the buffalo check. Put down from center. Accordion it in there. And yes, the hand that you're using to hold the bow shut with right now it's screaming at you. It is screaming at you. I know it. So we're going to move on here and go through the last 3 pieces. I'm going to point that ribbon or that loop up from center this time. Always remembering to go back and twist that back tail. Next, down from center. One more. Up from center. Okay, one thing I neglected to tell you that you would need for this is a pipe cleaner. Hopefully you guys have watched me enough to know that you would need a pipe cleaner. I will probably have flashed it up by now. Anyway, go to the middle of your pipe cleaner, lay your pipe cleaner beside your finger, lift your beside your thumb, lift your thumb and pull the pipe cleaner around the bottom and around the top. Use the hand that you're holding the bow shut with as resistance, and get these fingers up as close as you can to the back of the bow and twist. And I twist both, but what makes it the tightest is if you twist the bow, honestly. All right, there we go. And that looks like a jumbled mess right now, doesn't it? It doesn't look like much yet, but it's all in the fluffing, you guys. So what you do now is, this is where this bow will come alive, you guys, honest to goodness. Let your tails go where they will, or put them where you want them. Be sure that you twist that pipe cleaner as tightly as you can, and many times. And that way you can manipulate the loops of this bow, and you're not gonna have to worry about it coming apart. So anyway, all you do now is just fluff, 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 and pull all of your loops forward, and some of them will fall behind, some of them will move forward. It doesn't matter. You place them where you want them and where you think it's gonna make a very pretty, funky bow. Sometimes I'll turn the bow over and I'll separate the tails out like that, just, you know, to give a little interest. So, but there we go. That is a 9-loop funky bow with all the strips being cut at 22 inches long. And I think that makes a very pretty little funky bow that you could put on a wreath, you could hang on a lantern, you could put in a centerpiece, you know, stick it down into a centerpiece. How cute would that be? You know, and build something around it. Just as pretty as a little picture. And there we go. I missed there it is. Say I was missing a buffalo check. But that's it, you guys. That is our first installment in our Bow Making 101 series. The 9-loop funky bow. Pretty, huh? All right, I'll be right back for some final words. Back in just a second. Okie dokie, everyone. There we go. There's my 9-loop funky bow. And I'm still tweaking and messing with it, and I'll continue to do so, I'm sure. I have no idea where I'm going to put this right now. I made it specifically as a demonstration for you guys, but I'll find some place to put it, probably in the springtime. But for right now, I'll just, you know, I'll store it away for now. Or maybe put it up in the happy bedroom. It would be pretty up there. But anyway, there we go. Our first installment, the 9-loop funky bow. Thank you guys for asking me all these questions about my bows and for complimenting me on my bows. I so much appreciate it. And I hope upon hope that this series will help you guys learn how to make some really pretty bows, whether they be funky bows or tiered bows or round bows. I hope this will help you and will give us all something to refer back to. Oh yes, I have a video on how to make a 9-loop funky bow or 12-loop or 16-loop or so, you know, so on and so forth moving forward. So hopefully these videos will be a helpmate to folks for a long, long time moving forward. But anyway, all right. One thing I did want to say, I did want to give a little explanation about the funky bows, and I touched on it earlier, but I did want to say one more thing. You can make your strips as long as you want to make your strips. They can be 20, 22, they can be 15. They can be 15 inches long, they can be 20 inches long, it can be 25, 35, however long you want your strips to be, they can be. Also too, and it just makes sure that your loops are of a consistent size. Then you're gonna have tails, you know, you can cut down some of the tails, you can let some of them hang if you want, you can even add tails, you can take a piece of ribbon and cut a couple of strips and fold them right into the pipe cleaner and make long flowing tails, like if you wanted to put it down the side of a wreath, you know, or something. So don't let the size of the strip scare you, because you can do them at any length you want, because you always have a pair of, make sure you make them long enough though. That's the only thing. Make sure that you make them long enough. So if you want to see them peeking up like these are, you know, you want to make them long enough so that you'll be able to see them. If you make your loop 5 inches and you've only made your your strip, say 12 or 13 inches long, you're gonna have itty bitty little tails, and that might be what you want. But just be aware and think, okay, how long do I want my tails in this bow? Oh, I can always cut them down, so I might wanna err on the side of caution and cut them a little longer, okay? Did wanna say that. All right. Oh my goodness, I'm excited about this series. I really am. I'm excited about getting started on this, you guys. So I'll be working on this next week too, and moving forward in time, because I'm out of Christmas decor. I don't have any other Christmas. I will be making my fudge over the weekend, you guys. I'm not going to be making it before. I'm hoping to do my Friday Live tomorrow, you guys. I'm hoping. If I'm not, keep an eye on my community tab there on my homepage, and if I'm not able to do it, then I will leave you a little message. I'm hoping I will be able to do it though. But then I have to make some fudge on Saturday, so I'm going to be making some fudge, just my regular peanut butter fudge. So be watching for that Saturday evening or Sunday sometime to go up, so that will definitely go up. But anyway, let me just say that I hope that those of you who are struggling and suffering with a catastrophic illness or chronic pain, I hope you have someone there with you, taking care of you, spending their days with you, helping you get through each day the very best that you can. I hope there's nothing weighing on your minds or your hearts, pulling your attention away from where you want it to be or where it should be. And let's face it, our thoughts are all over the place right now, you know, and sometimes we have to stop and have a moment just to stop and say, okay, what do I really need to do, or what do I really want to do, you know? But I love y'all to bits, to bits, to bits. Hugs all around. And I keep you in my thoughts and my prayers every single day. And with all that said, as I said, I'll try to get back for my Friday Live tomorrow. And definitely with episode 2 or whatever, the second installment of my bow making 101, probably on Monday. Maybe I'll try to get that in the can sometime on Monday, later on in Monday, and get that up to you Monday afternoon, evening, something like that. So that you guys, oh, wait a minute. We have Danielle's challenge. We have Danielle and Janny's challenge. Nope, that is probably what's going up on Monday. Tuesday. I'll be back on Tuesday with my next installment of my Funky Bow series. See, things fill up really fast. We've got lots of stuff coming to you. Thank you, Danielle and Janny, for that challenge. I'm excited about that. I am definitely gift wrapping challenge, so it is a challenge for me to come up with something. I think I might be adding a funky bow to mine, though. So, anyway, all right. With all that said, I thought this would be a short one. But anyway, with all that said, I'll just say, until next time, whenever that is, y'all take good care. Bye-bye.